obviously, number one in everybody's mind is all of the bills that are being proposed that will have an impact on education. In terms of increasing the graduation rate, looking at what we can do to basically support the coaches or counselors so that we do things that impact pathways for students that speak to issues not just of college, but what other options are available to high school students.
You know, our students, they say to us, you know, we know you guys are at the table, we know you guys are doing it, but how long do you want us to wait until y'all get it right? And I'm telling you, there are a lot of great folks at the education table right now working together for what is important for all students, and that means every single child in the state of Georgia. We're here advocating for them and working to provide the training and the networking and the resources so that parent leaders can work with their principals and work with their community and work with their parent involvement coordinators to create the synergy to get all this exciting stuff going on. So it's a really great time to be a state leader.
Whether it's 16, 16 and a half, even 17, a child should not be allowed to drop out of school before age 18 so that they can take advantage of whatever opportunities there are for them. We don't think that students at the age of 16 are capable of fully understanding the impact that that decision has on them. So allowing students to make that choice, and in some cases they were making it before we actually proposed the legislation that has been proposed now, is that in the language of what exists now, those students could have made that decision without any parent or school intervention. This new bill, we're asking that, number one, that they don't be allowed to make that decision at that age by themselves and that there is some intervention. But we also think that it's important that students be given an opportunity to see that there might be some things beyond. Some of our high school freshmen are 16 when they're making this decision, and so that first year is a pivotal year. They could very well find something that interests them in that next year, or with the assistance of someone having intervention with them, so that they see that there are some other options. So that's why it's important.
There's some legislation that we've been watching that has to do with death in child care facilities and closing down those facilities. We're keeping an eye on that. Today, Crossover Day, we're hoping that the runaway shelter bill will make it on the calendar. We're also watching the adoption home study bill very closely to make sure nothing gets amended to that. We are interested in the tuition equalization grant bill that we're looking at, and just trying to keep an eye on, again, budgetary issues. The health exchange bill, we were watching, and that got pulled apparently by the governor's office, so that's not going to be on the calendar today, which is unfortunate because we were looking forward to the passage of that bill and to kind of get things rolling.
We have a Department of Justice settlement agreement that actually required some money to be put in the budget, so we supported that, tried to educate legislators on the purpose for that money, especially the use of family support dollars, which is really critical. And we succeeded in getting 33 independent care waivers in the DCH budget. There's been no waivers for the last 3 years, and potentially 42 more waivers in the community side of DBHDD, which we hope can be used to help foster children transition from foster care with special needs support to adult services. I got 2 bills out on Monday: ID individual development accounts for individuals under 300% of poverty to purchase assistive technology, and that came out of the House and is Senate first readers today. And that enables folks to purchase fairly expensive equipment that they would have a hard time getting out of VR or Medicaid, but keeps them in work or in school. And then we have a Developmental Disabilities definition bill that came out of the Senate on Monday, which just tries to get all the language consistent for defining eligibility for DD services. I still have a bill in House Rules today, hoping for many supplemental calendars so we can get that out. That's House Bill 229, which amends the Medicaid appeals process, just makes it put some parameters around the time frame for Medicaid appeals.
It basically allows Georgia to establish a health exchange, which would, is part of the federal law, the new health care reform law that mandates that each state has an exchange where you basically go, it's sort of like a marketplace where you would go online and look for the appropriate health care policy for yourself. And if Georgia doesn't do it, the feds will do it for us. The pre-K piece was a big piece of our session. We're also working on the juvenile code rewrite. We're part of the Just Georgia Coalition along with Georgia Appleseed and the Barton Clinic at Emory. And that is a work in progress. We've been working on it for 4 years, and it's made great progress this session. Right now it's still in the Senate Judiciary Committee. We have great hopes for getting that all passed, completely vetted and passed by the end of 2012. So that would be really exciting if we could get that to happen. It would mean a lot for kids in Georgia and their families. The human trafficking bill we support. Again, a lot of legislation that we support is not necessarily perfect legislation, but it certainly moves the dial away from where we are. And I think that we're hoping for a new public health department that is a standalone department. We're really excited about the opportunity to support that.